Hey, how y'all doing? This is Mongo Slade, and today we're going to talk about Drew McIntyre, Miz Morrison, Randy Orton, the WWE Championship scene. But first, hit that like button for me. Also, if you please, hit subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being subscribed. Okay, so uh, there was a boring six-man tag main event. It was only boring because when Miz is involved, you know he's taking the loss, or at least he's going to lose. He has no credibility. Morrison has no credibility. Randy Orton even dogged Impact and Lucha Underground and everywhere that John Morrison worked by calling them the minor leagues in a promo. And that pissed a lot of people off because people hate when WWE does that. And I'm not a fan of it either, if we're being honest. I don't like it, especially since I don't see the benefit in devaluing guys. I just don't see the benefit of it. Like it doesn't matter if we should all pretend that he just came back out of nowhere. Like that should be the WWE universe is where because Morrison was a champion the same place Lashley was a champion, same place Kurt Angle was a champion. You know what I'm saying? Like it's wasn't at the same time, obviously, but it was the same brand, it was the same organization. So by saying it was the minor leagues, you're pretty much dissing Lashley and Angle and everyone else. AJ Styles who was on the same brand. Like there should be a lot of guys who be standing up like, what the hell are you talking about? We put in blood, sweat, and tears for that place. But of course, that's sort of meta thinking doesn't really happen. You're supposed to just again pretend that you didn't hear certain things that you heard. It's silly for them to do that. But what's even sillier is for Miz and Morrison to still be working main events. Why are they working main events? They are not main event guys. Miz and Morrison are opening and closing Raw. They're opening and closing Raw. And they never fucking win. They have no credibility whatsoever. They're comedy guys. And you're surprised that the ratings go down. It's like, no, you shouldn't be surprised. When everybody knows what's going to happen before it takes place, why would you tune in and stay tuned in? There's no benefit to being tuned in. Now, of course, all this means is that Miz is going to win the title. That's what this means. That's why Miz and Morrison have getting so much TV time. But I also think, and this is just going to be me spitballing and throwing a curveball out there, is that Miz is going to turn on Morrison. Because Morrison got pinned again in the main event. And he was also the one that got pinned in the handicap match. So they're not pinning Miz. They're pinning Morrison. They're going to eventually have Miz get tired of Morrison and turn on him. And maybe that's going to be one of the feuds coming out of Miz winning the title is instead of Miz wrestling Orton or McIntyre, he's going to wrestle John Morrison. Now, if that is going to be what we're looking at down the line, okay, I'm cool with that because it would at least make sense to why John Morrison agreed to go out there and be a stooge for 4 months. Okay, that he's probably going to get a title shot out of it. Maybe at the Royal Rumble or something. So I still don't like the fact that we have Miz and Morrison opening and closing Raw. They could have did that six-man tag at the beginning of the show, and no one would have thought the wiser. I don't know. You could have put Ali and Ricochet as the main event, but people don't. I guess they don't trust those guys to carry the show. But so from that you have the other person that they announced that Drew McIntyre is going to get a title shot. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton will take place next week on Raw. But that's not all. Randy Orton was not a fan of that. He was upset by that. He hemmed up Adam Pearce, where he grabbed him by his collar and wanted to shake him like an infant. But Adam Pearce was like, whoa, 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 settle down. So they're really testing whether Orton is going to be the guy that's going to face Randy or face Roman Reigns, or is it going to be Drew McIntyre? And I like that idea. I like that plan, but I like what they're doing with the other. See, I think that the Orton McIntyre feud is so fucking stale that it doesn't matter. That match doesn't matter. For starters, I believe Randy's just going to win. But I'm far more interested in what Drew McIntyre is doing with Sheamus. Now, Sheamus being the guy who just kind of comes to Drew every week, trying to be his friend, trying to bring his friend back home. Like, oi, you remember all the good old days, mate? He's like, yeah, the good old days. The Celtic connection. You know what they said, kicking heads and drinking kegs. And, McIntyre said that he promised Sheamus that after he wins the title, they're going to go out and drink and have a ball. And I love watching those two guys together. Like, it came across as two natural friends. And I've seen people on Twitter, oh, they've been friends for 15 years. Like, yeah, I get that. But the characters have not been friends for 15 years. Okay, they know each other because they're from similar background. But there have never been any real synergy between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Now they're trying to, bring all that in, and it feels natural. Sheamus is miserable. He's stuck in his Survivor Series team. He wants to be on the team. He wants to win, but he hates his partners. He also finds a New Day to be extremely annoying. He just beat the shit out of Big E, and then he also lost a match to Big E. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Sheamus. He's, in turmoil right now. And Drew McIntyre is he was in a good mood. He was trying to cheer Sheamus up. He was doing the New Day Rocks, thing. And Sheamus was like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? I wish I knew more slang, but he told something about the goth, and I was like, I don't understand that at all. But it was a great segment. Also, most people noticed that in the segment, Mercy the Buzzard was in the background. So it kind of leaves you the idea that the Fiend may interfere and cost Drew McIntyre his title match. Okay, fair enough, because the Fiend did not appear on Raw. So you have this scenario where the Miz is absolutely impotent. He has no credibility whatsoever. Randy Orton is paranoid. The Fiend is after him. He's also sick and tired of Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is obsessed with him. But Drew McIntyre is also being courted, let's use that word, by Sheamus, who while is on good terms with Drew McIntyre, doesn't necessarily like the direction Drew McIntyre is going. Like, you could tell Sheamus was pining for the good old days more so than the current days, while Drew McIntyre was more distracted with the title. So you have a wealth of opportunity here. You could have the Fiend cost Drew McIntyre the title. You could have Sheamus cost Drew McIntyre the title. But you could also have Sheamus, you could push the Sheamus thing down the line. Maybe Sheamus tries to help Drew McIntyre win the title, and he ended up botching it because, if the Fiend was involved, or the Miz tried to cash in, or something else happened, and Drew McIntyre ended up losing his opportunity. And he blames either the Miz or Sheamus or the Fiend. And that's really one interesting thing is Drew McIntyre is probably not going to go into the match and just get RKO'd and pinned. 9 times out of 10, there's somebody going to interfere and cost him the match. It's all about who, right? Is it going to be the Miz, who's going to try to cash in and mess it up? Is it going to be the Fiend, because the Fiend wants Randy Orton and the title? Is it going to be Sheamus, who is kind of being kicked to the curb by his friend? So it could also be Alexa Bliss, who could be operating as one of the Fiend's agents. You have options here. And that makes this very, very interesting. Even though the Orton-McIntyre feud is incredibly stale, it makes for a fun match because you have so many moving pieces with all the other people outside the ring or outside of the match. I've already given my prediction. I'm pretty sure that Randy Orton's just going to win, because you don't really want to put Drew McIntyre in a position where he has to wrestle Roman Reigns. Whoever wrestles Roman Reigns is going to lose. That's kind of the point. Like it's easier to justify Roman beating Randy Orton than it is to justify him beating Drew McIntyre. You know, and I know maybe they say, oh, it'd be a good spot for Drew, but because what do you do with Drew if he's not on the card, right? I'm pretty sure you could find something else for him to do, you know, or give him the night off. He's been running hard all summer. You can give him a night off, have him cut a promo, do something else, anything else. But I enjoy everything except the Miz stuff because the Miz stuff does not change. They keep talking about the Miz being his TV shows and how he's got pulled with USA, and you know this is going to benefit him, and that's all fine and dandy, you know, and I enjoy that aspect of it. But what good is it if the Miz always is going to lose? He has no credibility. There's no reason to watch the matches to see if maybe the Miz can win this time, or maybe now is the time that Miz is going to cash in. Because it's like, no, he's just a pinball. He goes in there and gets knocked around all the time. That's not fun to watch. You know, like even if the guy can just cut one promo and get his heat back, he shouldn't have to work that hard. You know, he should still have heat from last week. You know, like you're probably making the job easier. You're making the dude redig this hole over and over again. Like he has to keep coming out talking about his TV shows and his all this type of stuff. Like why wouldn't any of his stroke with USA Network get him out of these stupid matches that they keep putting him in? Why wouldn't they be like, well, USA doesn't really want the Miz in this stupid 6-man tag, so we're gonna pull him out and put, you know, somebody else in, anybody else, you know? That's just me though. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.